Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I had so much fun making this build. It was incredible. I really enjoyed it, and it's supposed to be like an elven castle, fairyland, forest thing. Maybe like a town or a village up in the trees or something like that. That's what the theme of it was supposed to be. But the way that I've set out these videos is the building of the outside, and the actual sort of buildings themselves, not the trees or any of the landscaping. That's all in this first video. And then if you want to see the interior, and I make it all sort of elven and overgrown and stuff like that, that's in the second part, as well as the landscaping. So if you want to see like the trees and how I made the forest and put it all around the building so it didn't clip in and all of that kind of stuff, then that is the place to watch. Of course, if you don't have enough time, I'd still like you to see all of it. You know, you do what you want with your time, but it would be nice if you were able to see it. So just skip through. Maybe I'll even include some little pointer things like time stamps of when you can skip through to get to the different points. But as you can see here, we've got like a really sort of messy building that it's like it's got little bits sticking out in all different directions and diagonals, and this was actually inspired by Lord of the Rings. It was LOTR. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it was inspired by that. And when I looked at the pictures, I tried to kind of replicate it in different ways, and I tried to make it in like nice symmetrical things and in circles and things like that, and it just didn't turn out all that great. So I tried it like this, and this was the way that I preferred. It's all sort of higgledy-piggledy and makes it interesting from all points of view. So that was the idea behind it anyway. But yeah, it was really fun making. I've got like the idea for this was actually recommended by someone else. What I'll do is I'll leave their because I can't remember it right now because I'm disorganized and I didn't look for it beforehand, which I meant to do. I think I'd written it down that that's what I should do, but I didn't because I'm disorganized. But what I'll do is I'll look it up after this video, hopefully remember to put it in the description so that, you know, that person who gave me this wonderful idea was given credit. But as you can see on the roofing right now, I'm doing something where I did this in, I think it was like a church build that I did a little while ago, where I made like patterns within the roofing to give it more sort of, I guess, detail. But if you actually look at sort of pictures from the movie and artist inspirations and stuff like that, it's way nicer. It's way more like details. It actually looks like it's grown that way. It's really amazing. But I tried my best to make it as close to something that might be like that anyway. I also thought about colours, and I was really struggling with it, and you'll see in the moment I've got this roofing colour, and then I've got like afterwards a different, like I just skipped to a certain one, but in between there was a few different colour schemes that I'd went with, and I couldn't pick because I thought, you know, if there was something which was elven, it would be made out of like woods, like obviously wood and stone, and be really earthy colours and really natural sort of colours that you would find, and it would blend in. But then I thought, if I do it all greens and browns and stuff, then you won't be able to see it against the forest. So what's the point in that? Also, with this bit I'm doing here, you might be thinking, what are you doing with those lights? So, well, what I'm doing is I'm trying to get like, there was like these tendril sort of shape things on the artist's impression of LOTR, and it was really beautiful, and I thought, oh, maybe I could, you know, and it was sort of glowing from within, and it was really pretty. I wish that place existed in real life, but I tried to kind of replicate that, but it looked really bad. So we ended up just getting rid of them and going with this kind of theme. But as I was saying, it didn't really stand out against, you know, the background. And I saw that it was kind of like, on the artist impressions, there was like blue in it a little bit, blues and yellows. So that's kind of what I've gone for. I've gone for sort of maybe more silvery, gold, white sort of colours, something that I thought that it looked quite magical, even if it didn't look like it was necessarily from, like, directly from nature. I guess you could think that maybe it's just pale wood, and, you know, white plaster, and then maybe they've got slate, which is blue, I don't know, but that was my thought anyway, that I thought that this would look quite magical and nice against the trees and everything, still stand out but not be, you know, too out of what maybe they might like. I mean, to be honest, I'm trying to, you know, justify realism with this, but it's kind of, I mean, I do put in some supports, but at the end of the day it is floating buildings in in trees in a forest, so the realism isn't really gonna be there, let's be honest with that. But now I have a confession. I may be making this, but I am a fraud. I've never actually fully watched any of the Lord of the Rings films. Now, you guys may you'd be like, so, but I have so many friends, or, well, maybe that's just a surprise in itself, but I have lots of friends who love Lord of the Rings and have seen it loads and loads and loads of times and are obsessed with it, and it's like their favourite film and all of that kind of stuff. And I haven't seen them fully. Now, as a backstory for this, when I was younger, when the films first came out, I think anyway, I can't remember when it was, but it was close to the time which they came out. My parents got them on DVD, or the first one anyway, and sat me and my sister down to watch it, and we got about halfway through the film before my sister started freaking out and crying because she just found everything too scary, and I was like, what, this isn't scary at all, and I was enjoying it so much. And it was like, my parents were like, oh no, you can't, like, I wanted to watch it on my own, and it was like, oh no, Zoe, Alice is finding this scary, we need to stop watching. I don't want to blame her, but it is kind of her fault maybe. But then, like, in later years, it was always the same, like, oh no, you and your sister have to watch this film, like, you and your sister are watching a film together, you can't watch one on your own, watch something different than Lord of the Rings, you know. It was always like that, and so it, like, since then it's always been like, I think, like, several years back, me and some friends were talking about doing a movie marathon, and we were like, oh, should we do Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? And people were all going, oh, we should watch all the Lord of the Rings films. I was like, yes, now's my chance, I can finally watch them. Just pretend like I've seen it before. And so, but then that fell through, as it always does. We go there and everyone's like, no, I'm not too keen on watching all those films, let's just watch this one instead. I'm like, damn it, no, I can't do it. And then like, in later years, like when I was in university, and I had a lot of friends which like Lord of the Rings and have seen it several times, but then they would be like, oh, before we watch The Hobbit in the cinema, because I have actually read half of the Hobbit film, half of the Hobbit book, and then I've seen all of the Hobbit films too, but I've also meant to read the book so many times, like, all three of the books. I've meant to bring them with me on holidays and then forgot them and had to buy, you know, like a book in the airport or something like that, and it's always the way. But I've been meaning so much to watch the films and everything else, but in university it'd be like, oh, before we go and see the first Hobbit film, we should do a marathon where we watch, like, all of the Lord of the Rings films, and then the Hobbit films, and then as each of the Hobbit films came out, it was like, we should watch, you know, when they all came out, it was like, oh, we should do a movie marathon where we do all of them, and, you know, all 6 films, and, you know, they were calculating how many hours that was going to be, and then everyone bailed. It was like, no, my chances are gone again, and it's just one of those things. There's so many things which I want to see, and I want to, I guess, be in on, you know, and it would be like, they'd be talking about it, and they'd be like, oh, I really love this part of, like, the second Lord of the Rings, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I know what that is. No. I should have just embraced in the past that I've never seen the films and just, you know, be open with it. But I've chosen in the past, at least, to just not say anything and just nod like I knew what was going on, but I didn't. Yeah, but yeah, there's just so many things I want to see and I want to do, but life just kind of gets in the way sometimes, doesn't it? And I feel like a lot of people would be like, well, for Lord of the Rings, you make the time. You don't, like, what are you on about? You would make the time for Lord of the Rings. There's no way around it. But I don't know. I just haven't. Hang on, my computer was going a bit weird. If you have a Mac, or you've ever seen a Mac, you've got like the bar with all of the like the apps which you use the most, or programs or whatever you use the most in a bar, and I've got mine on the side of the screen, and it disappeared along with like everything but Premiere Pro. Like I could still see the video going past, and you know, still could do the commentary, but I was really scared that, you know, my computer was shutting down and everything else had been shut down, and it was about to say, you know, like, please save before continuing or something like that, and, you know, I'd have to start this voiceover all over again, because I wouldn't have been able to remember where I was up to, because I haven't been talking about the build at all, have I? Oh. But the roofing style, I've tried to, where I've curved it, I've thought that maybe that would have, like, it kind of be like leaf shape and kind of more natural, maybe. That was what I was trying to tell myself. But I was kind of experimenting with the different roof types, and I didn't get them right first time, as you've probably seen. I didn't get them so that they looked pretty straight away, but and I had practice before this, like how I was going to do the roofs and which ways I was going to do them, and how I even thought about the way that I was building the room, like the outer walls, as I was doing them, so that I knew that, you know, I could do roofs to the patterns which I'd done. But even then, I did do some practice off the side. I actually have a question to ask you guys. How long do you think this would take to build? I mean, I can't remember if I'm gonna do, like, if I've chosen to do a like panoramic shot at the beginning so you can kind of see what it's like. But let me know in the comments. Stop the video now. Comment below how long you think it should have taken to build this build. I'm really, really curious. Okay, have you done it? Hopefully you're back. Welcome. Okay, so I've been under a debate on whether I am actually... I think I am slower than some people, I know that. But I don't know, like, how slow am I? I've actually, like, most of the time I just ignore it because I don't want to know how much time. Like, I obviously really enjoy making these, but I don't want to know how much time I've spent on them, because it's like, in reality, it's like, wow, so much else could have got done in that time, you know? Okay, I'll reveal it to you. So the recorded time on this build is 6 hours. And so it probably, with like the adjustments off screen and deciding the colours and planning like the roof and all of that kind of stuff, it probably took me like another hour. So we'll say 7 hours roughly this took altogether. It was almost exactly 6 hours of recorded time at least. So is that slow or fast? I wonder. Because I don't know, I felt like I was building this faster than I normally did, or it just seemed to be made faster than I was expecting. Like, because it's a 64 by 64, it's a big lot, so there's a lot to fill. But if you think about how much I've actually built inside it, like the size of the buildings, you could have squished this onto like a smaller lot in the amount of, you know, building space that I did, because I just filled the rest up with trees. And then I did a lot of, you'll see I did like a river going through, and that took up a lot of space as well. So there wasn't a tremendous amount which I had to do in comparison to other 64 by 64 lots I've done, even 50 by 50 lots I've done. So yeah, it's difficult to judge. Maybe I should go back on some of my files and count up how long the clips are to see. But then, even then, it's like my Atlantis build, there was so much of that which I didn't record. So, no idea how long that took. I don't want to know. It just took too long. It just took too long. But maybe you guys can sort of work out if this, you know, how long these videos are. If this took 6 to 7 hours, how long my other builds would have taken based off that. yeah, maybe that will, because I do get asked it quite a lot, you know, how long did that take to build? Did it take you like this amount of time? I'm like, I have no idea. So maybe that will give you some indication, but I'm curious to know, how long do you think you would have taken to build this? And am I slow or medium or actually fast? I don't think I'm a fast builder, but maybe I am. A lot of people have said in the comments recently, like when I've mentioned that I'm a slow builder, they've said, no, you're just detailed. And maybe I should just start referring it to that, although there are people which are very detailed builders which are faster than me. But anyway, so we're sort of doing more of the decorations. I did put in a couple of trees. It was that build up at the, you know, that little tiny cabin thing up at the top. The tree cuts into most of that, so it's not really a usable space. You could use it, but it's not really that usable, and I haven't got anything to go up to it. I was originally thinking that maybe I put, you know, magical items up there and you could only teleport Sims up to the top, but on the Atlantis build, I had to bring down my settings to medium when I was doing it because my computer just wasn't coping. So I've put them back up to high again because I haven't been using big lots recently. And as I was getting to the end, after I put in all of the trees, my computer was lagging a little bit. But then once I put it down to medium, at least on, I think, objects, I put down to medium. I'm not sure about anything else. But I put objects down to medium at least. And then my computer ran it fine, and you know, it was more I just put, I'm fine with it lagging a little bit while I'm building. I hope it doesn't come across weird as, you know, we're doing this, but it was so that I could get really clear panoramic shots when I did those. Whether I'm going to include them, I'm not sure, but yeah, that was the idea behind it. I also skipped out some of this, like putting up some of the stilts or columns or whatever. And originally what I'd done is I'd wanted like the thin ones to make it look like it wasn't really supporting, you know, like really thin and not supportive at all, but just like a little bit, you know, like tiny little bits of support. And I put the two thin ones, I can't remember what pack they're from, maybe Get Together, not sure. I think, judging from the picture that's like glowed up, I think it is Get Together. But when you like layer them on top of each other and move one up with the 9 key, it the bit at the bottom is much darker than the bit at the top, so it actually glitches out halfway through. So instead what I did is I got one from Base Game, I think, which is ever so slightly thicker, and put that one at the bottom, so it kind of looked like it narrowed, or it's like thicker at the bottom and then thinner at the top. I think it looks quite nice in my opinion, but that was basically the idea behind it. But I'm going around and doing the rooms now, and just sorting out the floor plan and stuff like that, and doing little tweaks and stuff like that. But I think I'm coming to the end now, so I thought this video was longer actually. I'm really surprised. But yeah, so thank you for sticking all the way through this video. I really, really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate you coming and clicking on this video in the first place. It means a lot to me. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you again soon.